This Dodgers pitcher's home has been burglarized. We'll talk about that. Also, the Dodgers are reportedly in strong pursuit for this elite reliever. The Dodgers trade rumors are heating up. And also, I'm dropping my Dodgers trade target tier list and an exclusive interview with Orel Hershiser, and he needs your help. All that more coming up next on a jam-packed episode of Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You guys want the parade? We got a parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Monkey magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of the media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you're new to the channel, we always get new viewers, new listeners around the trade deadline. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and if you're a longtime subscriber, you want to support this show every single day, smash that like button. Also, drop a comment down below. What is your ideal, realistic Dodgers trade deadline outcome? Let us know down below in the comment section. Also, I have a giveaway today. Noel's on it, producer Noel Sanchez. We are giving away this Freddie Freeman World Series jersey with the gold. All you have to do to win is comment MV free down below, and we're going to pick a comment of the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll do it during the 7th inning stretch, and all you have to do to be eligible for our giveaways is be subscribed to the channel and comment down below, and you're eligible. We're doing tons of giveaways. We're going to do a giveaway after the trade deadline, so that is today's giveaway. Of course, we always got to start with the Dodgers Dugout Live poll question of the show. I asked you guys over on the X, which elite reliever, which dream reliever acquisition would you rather the Dodgers have? Jhoan Duran or Mason Miller? And right now, 40% say Jhoan Duran and 60% say Mason Miller. So that is very interesting. That's very interesting because I think that Duran, we look at the prospect capital cost, I like Duran. He's my #1 guy. So we've got lots to get into, guys. We have a jam-packed show later. Orel Hershiser is joining the show. He needs your help. You do not want to miss that. We build the ultimate Dodgers pitcher. He gives his thoughts on the Dodgers trade deadline plan. So definitely stay tuned for that. And then Noel is looking for your comments all throughout the show. Your comments of the show, your hot takes, your questions that will feature during the 7th inning stretch. Anything out of pocket, you'll hear a bruh. The Kike Hernandez, getting a lot of love down below. I think it was a great decision to make this switch. But there is so much Dodger baseball to get into, so let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
So there's tons of Dodgers trade rumors to get into, and we're going to spend a lot of time on that. But I want to spend a little time talking about our own. And that is that Yoshinobu Yamamoto's Hollywood Hills home was burglarized. It was broken into, and you hate to see this. You hate to see this. It's from TMZ. The attempted break-in happened early Wednesday morning at Yamamoto's multi-million-dollar Hollywood Hills home while he was on the road with the team wrapping up a series against the Cincinnati Reds. According to police, someone was home at the time of the incident and turned on a light which scared off the intruders. Surveillance and eyewitnesses reports indicate the suspects jumped over a fence and smashed a window before fleeing the scene when the lights were switched on. Fortunately, no injuries were reported, and authorities say nothing happens to be stolen. The property records confirm the home belongs to Yamamoto, who pitched on Monday. He went 7 innings. He was fantastic. He was great. 9 strikeouts, a couple of walks. And I hate to see this. I feel like this is becoming increasingly more common towards professional athletes, them being targeted, especially when they're on the road. So for me, the fix with this is, look, it's great to have a surveillance system. It's great to have an alarm. It's great to have an eye ring and all these things that give you protection. But when you are a pitcher, when you are a professional athlete that signed a $325 million contract, I don't want that athlete signing up for private security that patrols their house 24/7, 365. I want that baked into the contract and negotiated at the time that they sign their deal. I really do at this point. Because look, Yamamoto, young guy, he's got the movie star looks and the smile, and he's always just dripping with expensive watches and necklaces, high fashion Birkin bags. I mean, he's always looking fresh, right? He's dripping, as the kids say, right? I just want him to be safe, right? And you got crazy people out there doing crazy things. You live in the Hollywood Hills. I live in Hollywood. Don't live in the Hollywood Hills. I live in Hollywood. Just walking down the street, you see interesting people. And I think for Yamamoto, for him, I definitely want to see him get some human security that is patrolling his house at all times, because clearly this was an attempt based on the speculation that was planned because he was on the road. But I mean, just imagine if he was at home, right? I mean, you don't want to see that. I mean, this is a guy who comes from Japan where the crime rate is extremely low. So he's probably not familiar with these types of situations. So I hate to see this. Noel, what are your thoughts on this? What is your reaction to this? It's kind of a scary situation for me.
No, it's absolutely horrible. I mean, seeing the TMZ article this morning, it was super sad to read. I'm glad he wasn't there, but also it is pretty sad. It makes you think, like, did these people know that he was going to be gone? Did they have like this house targeted? Did they have like this date circled on their calendar? Thankfully, private security got ahead of it, called the police, and nobody got hurt and nobody actually got into his home. But it's just sad. It reminds me of during the postseason last year when Buehler got robbed at a park. He had to give up his watch. It's just extremely sad that, like, these guys, as much as we view them as icons, some people just have targets on their back for them. So I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah, Walker Buehler got robbed at that horse track before the playoffs.
Yeah.
And there is a other report that does say that his security kind of scared them off. So it does sound like he did have personal security there at the time.
Yeah.
So we'll get more clarification on that. But I'm talking more guys, more dogs, more surveillance, whatever it takes, because I mean, you got to keep these guys safe, and you just hate to see this. I mean, Yamamoto, we want to kind of make him proud and to live in Los Angeles, and he chose this city, and we got people burglarizing his house. I hate to see that. 24/7 security, 365. Even if you got dudes right now, double the number, do whatever it takes, because I just hate to see that. Okay, but now let's get into the hottest Dodgers trade rumor right now. The hottest Dodgers trade rumor right now. And that comes from our friend Bob Nightingale. Bob Nightingale tweeted, the Minnesota Twins are expecting to trade closer Jhoan Duran by the end of the day, with the Los Angeles Dodgers in strong pursuit. The Twins have also been in heavy discussions with the Phillies, but have not lowered their asking price of prized pitching prospect Andrew Painter. So this is very encouraging for me, because Jhoan Duran is not just a great pitcher, not just an all-star. In my opinion, Jhoan Duran is one of the 2 relief pitchers, one of the 2 closers that have the potential to be a superstar in their role. And if you've been watching this show for the last couple of months, for my trade tier list, I'll give you a sneak peek. Let's pop it up here. For my trade tier list for this Dodgers trade deadline season, I have Jhoan Duran. Jhoan Duran is number 1. Jhoan Duran is number 1 as far as guys being in the S tier. The only 2 guys I have in the S tier of my trade target list is Mason Miller and Jhoan Duran. And the reason why I love this trade possibility is because this is for a guy that has that top level stuff, that plays up in the postseason, where you're talking about explosive heater that averages over 100 miles per hour, a splinker that goes down, and you look at the team control too. So we'll get to that trade target list a little later. So we'll bring that up a little later. We'll do that in a little bit. But now that I've seen this, I just want to put this out there. If the Dodgers are in the red zone for Jhoan Duran, you got to get a deal done. This is the trade the Dodgers need to make, and this is the trade I think the Dodgers will make. Because what I always say on this show, don't listen to what the Dodgers say, watch what they do. Andrew Friedman has said it multiple times. Quote, my least favorite thing to do is to make trades for relievers at the deadline. Quote, the acquisition cost is totally out of whack. And yes, it is. You do have to pay hotel minibar prices for relievers at the deadline. You would have to give up a top prospect, whether it be an Alex Freeland, whether that be maybe a Robleski type, a Eduardo Quintero. I mean, they have the prospect capital to get a deal done if Jhoan Duran is going to get traded. But watch what they do. And what the Dodgers did this offseason was they spent $72 million on a reliever named Tanner Scott. And Tanner Scott has not performed to the level that they had hoped. He leads Major League Baseball with 7 blown saves. He has an ERA north of 4. I still think that Tanner Scott can round into form and help this team in the postseason. But what the Dodgers did this offseason by their actions is show you that they want an elite reliever, a top-level, high-leverage arm in the back of your bullpen. And that guy has not performed like a top-level, lights-out closer like they hoped he would have been. And then on top of that, you lost Evan Phillips, one of your other high-leverage arms, due to season-ending Tommy John surgery. Blake Trinan has been dealing with forearm tightness. He's been back in his first appearance. The stuff looked good, got squeezed a couple of times, but still, if he's healthy, he's going to help you. Michael Kopech, your fireballer from last season, he had surgery on his knee to repair a meniscus injury. So a lot of your top-level guys that you're hoping for down the stretch, there's big question marks next to their name. And Jhoan Duran is a guy that can fix that. He's an absolute lights-out reliever. When you look at this stuff, averages over 100 miles per hour on his fastball. 100 miles per hour on the fastball. And he doesn't even rely on just striking guys out. He doesn't just rely on striking guys out. I mean, this is a guy that can induce off contact. He misses barrels, but still, that's what plays up in October. He's averaging 100.4 miles per hour on his heater, 97.6 miles per hour on his splinker, a 2.01 ERA, and he's under team control through 2027. So if you were to trade for Jhoan Duran, you'd get him for the remainder of this season and 2026 and 2027. He would not be a rental. And yes, relievers are volatile. Yes, from year to year, relievers can have their ups and downs. We understand that, but they need one. The truth is, this is their most pressing need. And I don't want the Dodgers to look back in 10, 15, 20 years and answer the question, hey, did you do every single thing you could to help the 2025 Dodgers win a World Series? Did you? Because that's the position that they're in. Is they want an elite reliever, they haven't got one yet, they dealt with injuries, they have a chance to get one. So if you make this move, you can confidently say, hey, we did every single thing we could to push the 2025 Dodgers over the top. Because it is a pressing need. The Dodgers bullpen, a 4.29 ERA. That's 24th in baseball. A 4.01 FIP. They've thrown 470 innings. That's far and away the most in baseball. The Dodgers have tossed 470 innings from their relievers. That's how many innings their relievers have gone this year. The next most is the White Sox with 430. The Dodgers bullpen has worked harder than a Panda Express employee during a Dodgers win streak. And that at some point is going to rear its ugly head. And they have a chance right now to go out there and just make a power move. Because you get Jhoan Duran and you win a World Series, you go back to back. It's not really going to matter what Alex Freeland or Dalton Rushing, I mean, some of these other guys, if you kind of make a power move. I want to keep Dalton Rushing. And the reason for that is I want a catcher to be able to manage the pitching staff if anything were to happen to Will Smith. I mean, could you imagine Hunter Fiducia as the Dodgers catcher in the postseason, right? Dalton Rushing kind of has the chops for that. But if the Dodgers give up some of these top 10 prospects and Jhoan Duran gets the final out of the World Series, it's not going to matter what those guys do. They could go on to have all-star careers, which the odds tell us that most likely they won't, but it won't matter if you can go back-to-back. Winning one World Series is great. Winning back-to-back World Series is legendary. And the Dodgers, they've had great teams. They've had awesome groups. Those boys of summer Dodgers that finally got over the hump after losing 5 World Series to the Yankees, and winning in 55 was spectacular. The Sandy Koufax-led Dodgers, 63 and 65. The 59 team that won a World Series, the 81 team, the 88 team, the 2020 team, the 2024 team, all great teams. But if you're a baseball historian and you're sitting down and you're trying to come up with what are the greatest dynasties, the greatest stretches that any team has had, you wouldn't have a group of Dodgers necessarily in that group. You just wouldn't, right? You would have them up with the 70s Reds and the Murderers Row Yankees and the 2000 Yankees, teams like that, right? Some of the all-time great dynasties. If the Dodgers go back-to-back and become the first team to do that as a National League team since the 1976 Reds, well, then you automatically enter the conversation where you level up. And I think it's pretty awesome when you go back-to-back. I think it's pretty awesome when the D in Dodgers could stand for dynasty, because then not only does your franchise talk about you, it's other franchises talk about you. When you win a World Series, yes, for that year, other teams' fans talk about it. But after that year, it's pretty much just your fans, right? Pretty much the Texas Rangers fans are going to be the only fans talking about the 2023 Texas Rangers for the rest of time, right? But the difference between winning one World Series and winning 2 World Series in a row and possibly 3 or 4 and having a dynasty is when you have a dynasty, not only does your fan base talk about you, every fan base talks about you. So I just do not want to lose sight about how special this team is. The guys in their prime, Shohei Ohtani and this staff, the talent where they're at. You have a 32-year-old Blake Snell coming back, a Glass now in his prime, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Will Smith having an all-star year. The time is now for the Dodgers. Remember, there is no next season. It's all about 2025 parades over prospects. I think the deal that makes the most sense for the Dodgers right now, Jhoan Duran, Harrison Bader, and then we ride. And then you get that top-level, high-leverage guy under multiple years of team control, and then you get an outfielder that improves you defensively, can play all 3 outfield positions, and he's an expiring contract, right? He has a mutual club option. He's not going to pick that up. Harrison Bader, though, having the best year of his career offensively, and he can also shore up your defense. He can play center field, can play the corner outfield spots. You got Michael Conforto, an 840 OPS in the month of July. He's looked a lot better at the plate. If this team, from their offensive star standpoint, just perform to the level they're capable of, you don't really need that many bats, but Harrison Bader would help you. The number one need is bullpen help. So I'm all in on Jhoan Duran. The trade they make, Duran, Bader, we ride. But let me know down below in the comments section, do you want to see Jhoan Duran as bad as I do? Noel, play that clip, man. This is a little sus. I like it. He's going to be in on the bruh stuff.
Facts. He already knows what it takes.
This was Jhoan Duran. We got a little little cheeks grab from his bullpen catcher. Nice little hug there. It happens. It happens. Jeff Passan said this was nothing. But the Twins are sellers. The Twins are going to be moving guys. The Dodgers have the prospects to get a deal done. Duran is the man. Now, another guy we could talk about, Mason Miller, another high-level prospect. You would have to include a couple top 10 guys, probably have to include DePaula, probably have to include rushing for him just because of how lights out he is, because of the fact that he's a guy that's under team control for a long, long time. And the longer you're under team control, when you're a good player, then you really, really have to pay up big time. And Mason Miller is someone that he's absolutely dominant. We'll talk about him more in a little bit. He's under team control through 2029. So he's absolutely electric. He's a top tier guy. I see a comment here though. D-Mac, Harrison Bader sucks. Harrison Bader sucks. Okay, so I'm going to address this. You say Harrison Bader sucks. Okay, so what the Dodgers have shown us so far with some of these reported rumors is they are focusing on the defense from the outfielders as well as the offense. Now, Michael Conforto has been a negative defender, -6 outs above average. Teoscar Hernandez has been a negative defender. So both your corner outfielders have been negative defenders. Andy Paz in center field is not really a plus defender. So the outfield defensively has been below average. Combined offensively, they've been just slightly above league average, a 102 weighted runs created plus. They're really in the bottom third in overall offensive production. But what Harrison Bader brings is he brings defense. He has been really good all around. He's 6 outs above average. He's in the 93rd percentile, and he can play all around the outfield, right? So you can mix and match with him, and you can platoon him if you want. He can be a kind of a fourth outfielder-ish, depending on how the offense is going. And yes, is he a guy that hits the ball very hard? He doesn't, right? Average exit velocity in the 10th percentile. Hard hit rate, 40%, 34 percentile. Strikes out a good amount. It's 26.3% of the time in the 18th percentile. Expected batting average is on the low side, but the results say that he is having the best offensive year of his career. And I just don't think that adding another bat is going to be the difference between this team winning or losing the World Series. And the thing is, though, he is an above average bat. The truth is a 116 weighted runs created plus. Is a 116 weighted runs created plus. Okay? So that means he's been 16% above league average offensively. So on the Dodgers, if Harrison Bader was on the Dodgers this year, you'd be talking about someone that would really be above average for this team. And if you would compare him on the Dodgers, he would have the 6th highest weighted runs created plus on this team. Andy Pages, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, Shohei Ohtani, Will Smith are the only other Dodgers that would have a higher weighted runs created plus. He has a higher weighted runs created plus than Hesung Kim, Teoscar Hernandez, Miguel Rojas, Mookie Betts, Michael Conforto, Tommy Edman, Kike Hernandez, Esther Ruiz, Dalton Rushing, Hunter Fiducia, Austin Barnes, James Out. I mean, so don't tell me that he sucks when the truth is that just means you don't look at the stats. That means you're not just consuming the information, because the information based on how he's playing the results say that he actually has been above average defensively and above average offensively. Now, is he some superstar? Are we going to see people rocking Harrison Bader jerseys? No. Okay. Get him off SF Gate because you're probably not going to have time to produce him. No. But I believe in this offense. I do. I mean, especially Max Muncy coming back, Teoscar Hernandez looking better at the plate, Mookie Betts, he has looked a lot better. 4 hits last 2 games combined. I mean, he's hitting the ball harder, using that top hand. Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, Will Smith having a career year. I feel good about this offense, but I'm more focused on shoring up a bullpen that they were trying to rebuild. Kirby Yates hasn't pitched his best. Tanner Scott, injuries. They need to focus on the bullpen, and they also need to bring in guys that are significantly better than the options they have available, so you can truly make sense of parting ways with top-level prospects, right? I mean, they got some Ferraris in that garage. They've got some Lambos in that garage, right? Michael Kopech, Alex Vesia has been fantastic this season. Tanner Scott, if he stays healthy, which he's not right now, by the way, dealing with a little stinger in the arm, you hate that. We don't know what his future holds. We don't know if there's something more serious there, if he could re-injure himself when he comes back. There's some Lambos. There's some Ferraris in that garage, but Jhoan Duran is a Bugatti. That's how good he has the potential to be. And by the way, have you seen the walkout song? Have you seen his walkout song? Okay? We had Welcome to the Jungle with Eric Gagne. That's S tier. That will never be topped. California Love. Kelly Jansen was great. But Jhoan Duran's is fire. Literally. He does the Undertaker bells. He comes out with a mix of songs. I'm going to try to say it. It's, what is it? It's El Incomprendido. How's it?
There you go, D-Mac.
El Incomprendido.
There you go.
By Farruko.
There you go.
It's just a banger. And then he mixes it with a song called Hot by Daddy Yankee and Pitbull. Like, the Dodgers Stadium crowd would lose their ish. He looks like the baddest MFer on the planet when he goes through those gates. It's absolutely ridiculous. I guarantee if the Dodgers trade for Jhoan Duran, you are going to go to YouTube and watch his entrance 6 or 7 times today. I truly believe you will. So that's where I'm at. He's been my guy all along. I hope they get a deal done. At the very least, you got to go out there and get a top-level guy. I mean, would you see me be that upset if they didn't get him and they ended up with a Ryan Helsley, a David Bednar, someone in that tier? I mean, we got Stephen Kwan is a name that they were linked to again today. I mean, would you see a Cade Smith, Stephen Kwan type of deal? I would definitely approve of that as well. Brandon Donovan. I mean, there's other guys, right? But if I had my first choice, it would be Jhoan Duran. But okay, guys, we're going to do more rumors. We're going to drop our trade tier list of targets. But first, we got a special guest today. Orel Hershiser, Dodgers legend, joins the show, and he needs your help. Here's my interview with Orel Hershiser. What is up, Dodgers Nation? Welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. And it's not every day that you get to interview a Dodgers legend, but we have one here today, Orel Hershiser, Dodgers legend, and we're here to talk about a card that he's after. So if you don't know, let me get caught up. Orel, he owns a sports memorabilia collectible shop, Legends Attic in Claremont. He's a big card collector. And back in during spring training, March 12th, he signed a 1/1 Orel Hershiser card, and he wants to find it. So my first question, Orel, give me some specifics about this card. I mean, what do you look like in the card? Is it like a media day picture? Are you road gray like we saw when you won the World Series? Just what are the specifics of this card outside of just the signature?
Well, first and foremost, it is a relationship with Topps, of course. We signed a deal with Topps to sign some limited edition cards. And there's some cards out there that represent my number on my jersey, 1 of 55, and there's 55 of those, right? And then there's some 1 of 20s, and there's 20 of those. This is a 1/1 Topps Chrome card. Now, exactly what I'm dressed in and exactly I'm in a Dodger uniform. I think I'm in pitching form, but I actually can't remember. I think my leg is raised, but the main reason I want it is when I was signing it and we signed it on video and we posted it for the store, Legends Attic, made me feel like my first baseball card in the big leagues. It made me feel like my first bat in the big leagues where your signature is burned into the wood. Made me feel like the first time my name was embroidered on a glove. And I'm like, this is really, really special. Then in understanding the hobby and following other people that are in the hobby, you know that there are bounties out there. There are negotiations for different things. Of course, there's negotiations for money and trading cards for cards. Like back in the day, you know, people are trading, I'm going to trade you Ken Griffey Jr. for, 500 Hershiser cards.
Yeah.
So that one Griffey, was way more valuable. But for me, it was like, I'd love to get my 1/1 back. It would be so much fun, just like having your first glove, your first baseball card, your first anything. And so we said, you know what? This is a great kind of relationship with the fans, serve the fans and get them more than just my card. And in the hobby, people are telling me it's probably worth $3,000 to $5,000. Okay. So I got to come up with a pretty big bounty. There's going to be probably plane tickets involved. There's probably going to be Dodger tickets involved. There's probably going to be some autographed jersey involved. So we know it's going to end up being a negotiation. We just wanted to put some tease out there of the things we're thinking about to try and get the card back.
Yeah, what I love about this is it's not, there's 5, there's 10, there's 20. It is a 1-of-1 Topps Chrome card that you signed. You mentioned the value of it, $3,000 to $5,000 maybe, but to you, it's priceless. You want this card because of how it made you feel, because of the impact on it. And we talked about the bounty. I heard you mention that. And what I've seen so far is 2 round trip airline tickets. You stay at the luxurious DoubleTree Hotel, all the cookies you could ever want. It's right next door to Legends Attic, so you can go see the awesome stuff that's there. And then you get tickets to a Dodgers game. And this would be my favorite thing. This would just top it off for me. You get to hang out in the booth with the modern-day voice of baseball, Joe Davis, and the great Orel Hershiser in the Vin Scully press box, the most iconic broadcast booth in baseball. Talk a little more about what the fan that, by the way, I told you before this interview, the person that's going to pull this card is going to be doing it, watching this interview. What can they expect, Orel?
Well, Joe and I both donate our time to charities, and we will auction off trips to the booth, hang out for an inning or two, and take some pictures. So in between innings, in that minute and a half that we have, we invite people down on the same level as that we're on. We all turn around, we turn the studio lights on, and they get a picture of us in the booth with them, with Dodger Stadium live action, the pitcher warming up in between innings behind us. They get to put a headset on in between us and listen to the broadcast as we're doing it. So they're sitting between us or standing between us, watching the game, watching the monitors, and watching us talk to each other and do the broadcast. It's kind of a once in a lifetime experience. I mean, we probably do it twice a game, depending on how many different charities we've auctioned it off for, or there's a friend in town or a relative that we'd like to do it for. So I know I'm adding that to my bounty. At Legends Attic, if you're staying at the DoubleTree, if it ends up being an out-of-town guest that trades with me, we're going to be able to walk across the parking lot to Legends Attic. Right now, we're in the Dodger room. It's painted blue. We have a Laker room. We have a helmet room. We have 4 pinball machines. We've got celebrity memorabilia. We've got all kinds of Topps cards. The same, maybe the box of Chrome that has my 101 is sitting here in our store. So you just never know. I
was just about to say, I'm going to go full-blown Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, get a ton of boxes. I want to find that card because I want that experience. And I think, or a lot of our fans that watch this show, younger Dodgers fans, they know you from being an expert as your analyst work for Sportsnet LA. I mean, of course, you're a 3-time All-Star, won the 1988 NL Cy Young, World Series champion, World Series MVP, a minuscule 105 ERA during that postseason run. But it's your thoughts and your analysis on this current Dodger team. They're going to be a part of that, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be asking a lot of questions about this team. I did want to ask you some questions about the 2025 Dodgers as we lead up to the trade deadline. Now, we know this team has had a rough July. You've experienced some injuries. You start to see guys turn around. Teo, Freddie, they're hitting. Mookie had his best day at the plate in a while yesterday. Shohei's still hitting tons of home runs. A lot of people say, they got to go out there and get a high-leverage arm because you have Trinan coming back, Tanner Scott, a little bit of a down year. You lose Evan Phillips. How aggressive do you think Andrew Friedman needs to be at the deadline to really put this team over the top? Or do you think, hey, you already got those internal pieces here to go out there and go back-to-back?
I think you've got multiple scenarios there. I think that we have always known the Dodge organization for them to go to the cream of the crop, right? We've gone out and got Darvish, they've gone out and got Machado, they've gone out and gotten more and more people all the time. Mookie Betts is here now, Freddie Freeman's here. We see all the guys that they want to get. The market's going to determine who we get, but not our effort. Our effort is going to be premium, and I think, they'll pay the salary part, they'll pay the player part, they'll try and bring in the best. But the market determines if you can make the deal or not. But I believe that the Dodgers, they want to win again. They want to do something special like the Yankees. They want to win back-to-back. And you can talk about the health of the rotation. It is getting much better. That will push some guys into the Achilles heel of the team right now, which is the bullpen. The bullpen will get stronger on its own, but maybe you go get a premium bullpen arm. Maybe you see what's going on health-wise and, what's going on with the ability on the field. And if a big bat comes available, I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden they go get another big bat. You can look at the offense and you can say it has hit for power, But when you get to the playoffs, it's not usually won by home runs. It's won by contact. It's won by the bullpen and contact. Can a starter carry you? Yes, but starters nowadays are asked to go 5 or 6 innings. So really what ends up carrying you is the starter almost becomes the bullpen opener that goes as far as he can. And here comes the pen in the playoffs. We're going to match up all the way to the end. And so you've got to have a great pen, and you got to have offense that makes contact, and it's not just hitting home runs. And I know the Dodgers know that. I know our front office has always thought about that, and they saw how we've won world championships in the past, last year and in 2020. It is a little bit more about contact, defense, bullpen, and really getting it done.
Yeah, and you've been on teams that have won World Series titles, and we know that in baseball, it's harder to go back-to-back than in most sports. It just does not happen. You mentioned 2000 Yankees, hasn't been done by a National League club since the 70s. Outside of just health, for the second half of the season and in the stretch run, what's kind of the number one thing that you're looking for this team to be in the best position to go back-to-back? Whether it be offense, pitching, bullpen, just is there something that comes to mind that you want to see from this team in the second half that makes you feel really good about their chances to win that Commissioner's Trophy once again?
I'm biased, but if the starting rotation, if 3 or 4 of the guys really get hot, think about that they're the best comeback team in baseball. Well, that's because they've got fallen behind a lot early in the games and had to come back. That's why they've got the most comeback wins in Major League Baseball. I would love to see the starting pitchers do better early on, the first 4 or 5 innings, so that the offense can break on top, so that when they leave the game, there's less pressure on the bullpen and you're giving the bullpen a net. So if I was going to say, what's going to make this team a world championship team in back-to-back years, starting pitching and defense helping them early on for those first 5 or 6 innings. And if that can happen, you're probably going to be on top, and you're probably then setting up your bullpen perfectly, because the shorter time that bullpen has to come in, the more you can match them up. And the more, that's the hard part for a manager, right? When I can't match up and put you in the best place to succeed, I have to get more out of you or put you with some places where I've got to lap through a tough part of the lineup for you. That's when all of a sudden the bullpen can melt down and it really just gets out of sort and out of timing, and that makes it hard. So keeping that timing and those short bursts of matchup from the 7th, 8th, and 9th, that's the key. And the guy who sets that up is the starter.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we heard Brandon Gomes say that he thinks that this team could be better than last year's team. Some people scoffed at that just because of the struggles they've suffered recently, but you look at that rotation you mentioned. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Cy Young level. Tyler Glasnow's looked fantastic since returning. Snell's coming back this week. Shohei Ohtani, that hitter, is pitching again. You got Clayton Kershaw still effective. I mean, you got Sheehan. There's just so much depth there. Do you want to get your thoughts on the fans would be upset with me if I didn't ask you about your thoughts on what has stood out so far, though, with Shohei Ohtani back out there on the mound. A 1.5 ERA, 12 innings, the velocity is actually higher. But from your perspective, which I think is the ultimate perspective, what has really stood out with Shohei on the mound?
I think his ability to have an offensive mentality and then a pitching mentality in the same night is really, really special. The fact that he physically can do both is very, very special. He's never done this at this age, so that's what I worry about as we move forward. And I'm so glad that they are rehabbing at the big league level and they're watching his pitch counts and watching his innings and timing this up. It's not only timing to bring his arm along and his endurance along for pitching, but it's the timing of how his body feels in October, that he hasn't had so much wear and tear that he can still do both at an elite level. We've watched his hitting kind of take a step back as far as batting average since he started pitching. We, of course, have watched the base running take a huge step back as far as attempts when he started pitching. But I think that's all within the plan. And watching him pitch on certain nights, it's like he's living with his fastball. And on other nights, he's like got an amazing slider, and that's the pitch he leans on. Then he can also throw the splitter or the curveball or anything else that he wants to invent out there. The athletic ability is off the charts. The eye-hand coordination is off the charts. The work ethic and the studying of how to execute a pitch or how to execute a baseball swing, off the charts. He is a gym rat, personified. And he's the most polite player you're ever going to see play baseball. I always describe Mookie Betts as somebody who has like an absence of malice. He and Freddie Freeman, there's just like There's no anger in them when they play, but they play at the top level. I didn't think there would be anybody that would pass Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts as far as least amount of anger, most, gentleman on the field, but still wants to beat you and rip your eye teeth out. Shohei might be, the tipping of the cap, the foul ball. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I ripped that 110 miles an hour at you and it was foul. The worrying about fans when he hits home runs or different things. It's amazing to watch this guy put it all together. And facial cream and all the other endorsements.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, 2 triples in your career in 88 and 89. You had 4 doubles in 8. I got to watch that replay. I want to see those triples. So I'm going to find that footage. I got to see those triples. Yeah, but one more thing on Shohei, then we'll get you out on something fun I want to do. Do you expect Shohei, with the rotation they have, to have an impact as a starter in the postseason? Because we talked about how electric it was last year, Dodgers, Yankees. That was unbelievable. The thought of Shohei Ohtani on the mound at Dodger Stadium in the postseason gives me goosebumps. Do you expect to see a big pitching impact with the way they're building him up and just they need him?
Yeah, I think you're going to see him pitch in the playoffs for sure. I think it's probably going to be as a starter. That's the easiest way on your body because you have the whole regimen of how to get ready, your massage, your stretching, your warm-ups and long toss. You know what time the game's going to start. As long as there's no rain delays, everything's going to go smoothly. If you put him in the pen or you say, we're going to have somebody open for you and we'd love to have you in the 6th through the 9th, that's a little harder when all of a sudden he's been hitting. Now he's hitting and he's going to be up. He can't be in with the trainer stretching. He can't be getting a massage. He can't be getting his mind together to have the correct warm-ups. It's going to be faster. It's going to be like in a moment. That's a lot harder to do. I could see him doing that in game 7s or backs against the wall games, but I don't see that on a regular basis, at least from my perspective. And my perspective is still pretty far away because they know a lot more on that bench and in that training room and in that, front office and the manager's room. They know so much more about his body, everybody else and how they're feeling. And that's where a lot of the decisions get made.
And the great thing is they have so many potential game 1 starters, Cy Young talent, all-stars, that they're going to be a good spot. All right, Orel, I'm going to get you out of here on this. At the end of this, I'm going to put the Topps request, so it's going to help. We're going to build the ultimate Dodgers pitcher. It's going to be quick hitter style. And I'm going to start with competitiveness in dog. You're the bulldog, so I'm just giving that to Orel Hershiser. So for the first one, competitiveness dog, I'm giving it to the bulldog, Orel Hershiser.
Go ahead.
Okay, we can do a co-one. We can throw some other people in there. How about fastball, though?
Fastball on the current Dodgers?
Oh, no, all-time Dodge. Any Dodgers pitcher ever.
All time. Well, in my generation, when I was actually at the plate, it would be Dwight Gooden or Nolan Ryan.
Or Dodgers players, though. Dodgers pitchers.
Oh, Dodgers players now. All-time fastball Dodgers. Alejandro Pena.
Love that. Curveball.
Kershaw, for sure.
Slider.
Not even close. Kershaw.
He's filling up this list. Okay.
Competitiveness, Kershaw.
How about
best left-hander,
Kershaw? How about cutter?
Oh, cutter. Kenley Jansen.
Splitter.
Oh, Yamamoto.
Fork. How about
Saki's a
forkball? How about the screwball?
Oh, Fernando. Come on.
Changeup.
Optical illusion changeup. We did have Mario Soto in a Dodger uniform for a little bit, I think. That was the best changeup.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How about poise?
Poise. Poise is different when Tommy Lasorda is your manager.
Yeah.
Poise would be captured differently. Poise is like under pressure, doesn't look like he's nervous, still trying at the right level. Wow. That one gets exposed like when you're having a bad outing. That one doesn't get exposed when you're having a good outing. So I would continue. I'm sorry. I got to continue with Clayton.
Clayton? Awesome.
He has been the best guy to get out of jams I've ever seen. The way he can just zone in and think about executing a pitch no matter what has happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Warm-up song, I think, is easy. That's just Eric Gagne's Welcome to the Jungle. I think that's an easy one there.
I liked mine, Master of the House.
From Les Miserables, the Broadway show. I love that. Nancy B. Now, that's awesome for sure. Okay, last question. Game 7, one pitcher in Dodgers history. A lot of people would say Orel Hershiser.
I'm going to take that ball.
You're taking that ball?
Oh, it is way more nerve-wracking to not pitch than to pitch.
That's awesome.
I want to have the ball in my hand. I want the pressure. I want to be in control. But most starting pitchers that excel, they want the ball in their hand. They definitely do. You want, in a game 7, in which I had a few of those, and final games of like the World Series in '88, the pressure actually is bigger after they score you runs. Once they give you a lead, it's like,
because you just don't want to, you don't want to mess it up, basically.
But when it's 0-0, or maybe you fall behind, there's less pressure than when all of a sudden you're up 3-1, you're up 4-2, you're up 5-1. Yeah, then it's like, get it going.
Yeah, we know if it's a big game, it's in Orel Hershiser's hands. We're going to see a big hug between you and Rick Dempsey in the World Series as we celebrate a World Series title. So I love that answer. And if you're watching this, another reminder, we are looking for the 1-of-1 Orel Hershiser signed Topps Chrome card. Signed it back during spring training, March 12th. Let's find this card. And then once you find it, you get in contact and we get you to LA. You go to Legends Attic, Doubletree Hotel, go to Dodger Stadium. You can work some things out. I'm sure you guys will do the negotiating, but we got to get this card in Orel Hershiser's hands if it's the last thing we do and win the World Series again.
Condition. I mean, if it's Oakland A's fans or other fans that don't like the Dodgers or me, don't bend it up. Take care of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep that thing in pristine condition. Get it here and enjoy a once-in-a-lifetime experience, because that is the truth. It would be a once-in-a-lifetime experience if you find this card. Orel, we thank you so much for the time. We're going to get you your card. Enjoy the rest of the season, and let's celebrate another World Series title this year, my man.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much, Orel. The great Orel Hershiser joined us. We're going to work on this camera real quick, but hey, he was awesome, and he's always just great. We're going to have him on this show. And the thing about Orel Hershiser is he understands what it's like to win a World Series, and he's certainly done that, and he's performed at the highest level. He knows that when teams come together this time of year, you need to find that magic, and hopefully the Dodgers kind of find that magic again. And I think with the card thing, I contacted a card shop, and they told me that if you get the $300 box set, by the way, Roki Sasaki is in the cover of this. Roki Sasaki was on the cover of this, which is really cool to see. If you get the $300 pack, the box set, you are guaranteed to get an autograph. So yeah, it'd be cool to find. I don't know if I go $300, but I might buy one. I think I'm going to get one. I think just get one for fun, because I think it'd be great if we found Orel Hershiser. But a super chat, Sneaky Panda 9225, $5 DMAC. Can we get on the stream? I want to let loose. We got to find a way. I mean, we got to do the call-ins, right? I mean, join the Discord. You'll be able to call into the show. But guys, we've got to get into more rumors, because during the interview with Orel Hershiser, we had a conflicting report about the Dodgers' pursuit of Jhoan Duran. He says that the Dodgers are not operating at the top of the market for Duran or Mason Miller. So that conflicts with what Bob Nightingale said. We'll see what actually happens with this. We'll see if this is posturing. We'll see if this is leveraging. I mean, there's a lot of trade deadline madness always. And until trades are actually made, then you just don't know what is going to happen. But here is what we have with Duran and Jack. So let's open this up. This is from Ken Rosenthal right now. He wrote, the Los Angeles Dodgers are not playing at the high end of the relief market for pitchers such as Miller and the Minnesota Twins' Jhoan Duran, sources say. So Jhoan Duran, not at the top of the market, not the name that the Dodgers are pursuing, at least right now. So that's pretty interesting. I mean, is this something that never happened? Was there ever conversations? It's not like anyone reported there was something that was imminent. Like it's going to happen like in the next minute or so. It's not like someone reported that something did happen. But the question is this not even an option right now? I mean, is it going to pick up anyway at all? Because it also talked about Mason Miller. Rosenthal said about Mason Miller, the Athletics in their talks for closer Mason Miller have focused on teams with top-end young pitching, but whether they find a club to meet their price remains to be seen. Miller is under club control for 4 additional seasons. From the Philadelphia Phillies, the A's asked for Andrew Painter, according to sources briefed with the discussions. The New York Yankees have also been involved in talks, but are more focused on adding pitching than subtracting it. The New York Mets, whose farm system includes perhaps more elite young arms than Yankees, are in the mix. The Los Angeles Dodgers, though, says they're not in the mix for Mason Miller or Jhoan Duran. So this is pretty interesting. We have to find out if there is any truth, if things changed. But look, I mean, this does fit with what the Dodgers have done at deadlines, right? I mean, they backed out of the Felipe Vasquez thing back in 2019, which was dodging a bullet because he suffered a massive decline in his career just from performance and just the terrible things he was doing off the field, because he was basically one of the worst legal things we've seen a player deal with. I mean, just great job by the Dodgers to avoid that one. But for trades that have transpired after that, it's been mainly for position players and starting pitchers. And with the market as explosive as it is, I mean, teams are playing. They're convinced that they still have a chance. They're convinced that they still have a shot at it. The Mets, they just acquired Tyler Rogers, the right-handed pitcher from the Giants. That was just reported by Ken Rosenthal of the Athletics. And the Giants, they're getting pitching prospect Blade Tidwell, outfield prospect Drew Gilbert, and a third player that is still on the way. And that third player, Jose Buto. So, yeah, I mean, that's a big time haul for Tyler Rogers. I mean, you look at where the Giants are at with their prospects. I mean, if you want to go all in, it's going to cost you. It really is. And you got to be sure that that's the guy that can really help you, get you over the top, help you contend for World Series. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. At the end of the day, it's all about winning the 11 games in October that matter the most. And for Tyler Rogers, a pitcher that is not in that top tier, they were able to get a prospect call that, look, I mean, it's not going to like break the bank, but it is high on the end for someone of that caliber. So, yeah, let me know down below in the comment section. What is your read on the situation with the Dodgers? Do you think they're considering at all paying above sticker price for someone like, I think Mason Miller is just out of the question, just because, I mean, we're talking about someone who's ultra elite, throws extremely hard. So you wonder if there's injuries baked in there at some point that's under team control through 2029. Duran's a little different because he's under team control for a couple of seasons after this year, which is half of what Mason Miller is under team control for. I mean, Duran's until 2027, Miller's through 2029. So there's a big difference there. But if you look at the Dodgers' top prospects, I mean, they won 2 of the top 10. Who are the guys you're giving up? Who are the guys that you're willing to part ways with to operate at the very top of the market? Because I think that I'm pretty confident saying that they're going to trade Duran. So we're going to have an idea about what the Twins got in return for him. And we'll see, was that a king's ransom, right? Like, I don't want to give up Josue Tapala for a reliever, even if he's elite. I don't want to give up Dalton Rushing for a reliever, even if he's elite, or Zaire Hope, but you got other top 10 prospects that you can work with, whether that be an Eduardo Quintero, who was just promoted, Alex Freeland, who makes a big league debut tonight, Jackson Ferris, who you got in the Michael Busch deal if you're looking for pitching. River Ryan was offered in the deal last year for Garrett Crochet, and then he suffered Tommy John. So, yeah, I mean, they have prospects to get deals done. It's just, do they want their number one guy? I mean, DePaul is already inching up to being a top 10 prospect in all of baseball. He's still extremely young. He's 20. I think the big question there about DePaul is, hey, by the time he's even ready to play in the show a couple years from now, I mean, talking about 2027 possibly. I mean, what's this team's window even look like at that point? What's his status look like? I keep thinking of Diego Cartaya and the visual of him in a Giants uniform. A guy that went from the Dodgers' top prospect to bouncing around, getting released from the Twins, and then he's just posting selfies in Giants gear. I mean, the truth is, that most of these guys aren't going to turn out to be foundational players for you. But all right, let's pump up this tier list. I got my tier list. We'll go through it super quick here. Dodgers trade targets for this tier list. And this is based on a couple of factors. This is based on the availability and if that player can be a superstar at his position. And I truly think that the guys that the Dodgers have been attached to, that they are definitely always going to be linked to some of the best players in the game because they're the Dodgers. But as far as guys that can be true superstars, I mean, we're talking about like when Juan Soto was traded at the deadline, or we're talking about like the big time names. I truly think there's only really two. I think it's Mason Miller and Jhoan Duran. Those are the S tier guys. Then the A tier, I would love any of these guys. Any of these guys on this list. Ryan Helsley. Yes, the strikeouts have gone down a little bit. Yes, he hasn't been as good this year as he's been in years past, but still, I like the velocity. He's a fireballer, can throw 100 miles per hour, and the Dodgers love high velo in the postseason. That's one thing that they target, and he's still been really good. A 3 ERA this year. Expected ERA not elite. Expected FIP not elite. The strikeouts have gone down. At his peak, he was a 13.08 strikeouts per 9 guy, down to a 10.25 strikeouts per 9 guy. But he's on expiring contract. He's going to be a free agent. He's going to be a rental. Then there's David Bednar. He still has one more year of team control. Bednar was down in AAA, and then he turned his season around. He's been back, and he's been really good ever since. So if you give me a David Bednar, he's another guy that could absolutely be lights out. An all-star closer. And with teams looking for relievers, the high-end stuff is what you look at. The swing and miss stuff has been absolutely back to being elite since getting back from AAA. So he got his trade value back. And, hey, man, you look at the last 23 appearances, a 0.00 ERA. So David Bednar will be great. I'd be happy about that. Griffin Jacks from the Twins, another guy you'd feel really good about just because he strikes guys out a high clip, multiple years of team control, not as sexy of a name, not as established of a name as some of the other guys on this list, but still really good. Pete Fairbanks is also on the trade tier A list just because even though he is not striking out as much as he has, still averaging 97.3 miles per hour on the fastball, and he's missing barrels more. He's got more cut on his fastball, so he's inducing soft contact. Big dude, also has a really favorable club option for 2026 at $7 million that could get up to $10 million with escalators. So the Rays, we never know if they're selling or if they're buying and selling, but he's a name. Then Jhoan Duran, I reached out to some Red Sox insiders. They think most likely he won't be traded at this point. Steven Kwan, I mean, I'd hit the Kwan. Steven Kwan is an absolute versatile all-star level player, does not strike out much. He's got the strongest arm in Major League Baseball. Just the cannon that he has would improve the defense for sure. Does hit the ball hard, like I said, but he also doesn't strike out much. Kind of brings that contact hitter element. Defense has been kind of around league average this year, but for his career, he's been a well above average defender. I think the thing about Kwan is the Blue Jays have been interested in him. They have put together a really nice season. And also the thing with Kwan is that he's got a couple more arbitration years. So he's under team control for another couple of seasons. And then this is kind of a name that no one really talks about that much that I don't necessarily think is going to be moved, but Cade Smith of the Guardians, he's been dominant. I mean, he really has. I mean, he has put together a season that really screams, okay, I'm up there with the elite relievers of the game. He actually has the highest WAR of any reliever in baseball since the start of the 2024 season. He's punching guys out at a 13 strikeouts per 9 clip. So, I mean, that's explosive stuff. The thing with him is he has 4 more years of team control. It's kind of like in the Mason Miller tier as far as the prospect capital you have to include to get him would be really, really high. So that'd be the A tier. The B tier, this is more like the B plus tier with Brendan Donovan. I actually really like Brendan Donovan. I do. He's someone that would significantly upgrade the defense. You could play him at second base where he's won the utility gold glove, put Tommy Edman in center field as an above average bat doesn't hit a ton of home runs. He's under team control for a couple of seasons. Then you got Harrison Bader. We talked a lot about him. He's in the B tier as well. Expiring contract, rental, above average defense, above average offense this year. Anthony Bender is an interesting name. He puts the ball in play, but he induces soft contact. He's someone the Dodgers have been interested in. Ramon Laureano is more of an offensive first guy. He's someone that is really having a career year at the plate. He really just got on fire, really. I mean, his last 100 at bats, a 156 weighted runs created plus 924 OPS. Then you got Luis Robert Jr., you got Taylor Ward, two guys that Luis Robert Jr. still struggling to get back to the way he was a couple of years ago when he was an all-star, but he's in baseball hell in Chicago. I still am a believer in Luis Robert Jr. I think his ceiling, the fact that you wouldn't have to give a top-level prospect to get him because of how much his stock has fallen. They traded for Luis Robert Jr. I actually be really excited about it. Taylor Ward, he's someone that, of course, is on the Angels, so you always wonder, are they going to shake hands with the enemy? Would Artie Moreno approve of that? Someone that can hit bombs. He's just a home run away from tying his 25 home run career high from last season, and he's done it in 50-plus fewer games. So the pop has been up. He can play defense for you. Robert Suarez I just have on here just because he's listed in trade talks. I don't think that the Dodgers will get Robert Suarez. How hilarious would that be if the guy who hit Shohei ends up on the Dodgers? I don't see that happening. Dennis Santana is an interesting one for me just because he does not give up home runs. He does not give up bombs. So giving up just one home run this season, the Dodgers, they've been towards the bottom of baseball this year in that department. This year, the Dodgers, when it comes to the home runs, they're 20th in home runs per 9. He's only given up one. So that's the S, A, and B tier. Okay. Outside of that, Jesus Sanchez, Adolis Garcia, Cedric Mullins. Guys like that. Sandy Alcantara, they're not looking for a starting pitcher, and he hasn't been a good starting pitcher this year. Kenley Jansen, you don't want to reheat the McDonald's French fries. Kyle Finnegan, not having a good year. The D tier, you got Castro. You got Tauchman, Arenado. They don't need a third baseman this year because Max Muncy's going to come back and hopefully rake. The E tier, I have Joey Gallo and Lance Lynn, who just gave up another home run, by the way. So let me know down below, what do you think about that tier list? I think you want, as long as they get someone from the S and A tier as a reliever, I'll be happy. And if you get a B tier as a player, I'd be fine with that as well. But let's go to the seventh inning stretch. Let's give away this Freddie Freeman World Series jersey. And I want to hear from you guys. It's electric. The trade deadline. So here we go. Seventh inning stretch.
The seventh inning stretch.
We got Brianna Rochelle 9994 DMAC. If you buy a sports card box, you should do a live stream to see what you get. I'm going to do it. For you, Brianna, I will do it. I'm going to go to the local card place, get the box, and whatever it is, it'll be a fun experience. Okay, so we'll do that tomorrow's show, I promise. Ninja Squirrel 30, Duran would be a good addition. Miller would be incredible. Quan would be legit tip-top. Yeah, that's absolutely. Those are the big pie in the sky, the big white whales right now would be Steven Kwan on the position player side. He's at the top, and Mason Miller and Duran from the reliever side. Those would be the top guys. Bilal, okay, but DMAC, if the Dodgers are not going to make DePaula or Hope a starter next season, why do they hold on to them? It's a fair question. You guys know. I'm Mr. Parades over prospects, right? I'm not a prospect hugger, especially in an organization that, like I said at the top of the show, their window is right now. It is time to start a dynasty, and you don't want to just spend like drunken sailors and give all these guys up, but you do want to address those needs. And the last thing I want is to be in the postseason and watch Glasnow and Snell and Yamamoto and Shohei, Kirsch, whoever it may be, have a really good start. The Dodgers offense get enough runs, but watch the bullpen implode. And that'd be the reason why they don't win a World Series. And right now, lots of question marks with the Dodgers relievers. Freddie Garcia, 987. Mookie needs the Trey Turner treatment when the homestand ends. I totally disagree with that. First of all, Mookie's been hitting well the last couple of games, been hitting the ball hard. He's fine, okay? I don't think Mookie would want that. I really just don't. I mean, I thought that was kind of cool, but it's cool that they did it for Trey Turner. If someone else tried to copy what they did for Trey Turner, in my opinion, it'd be a little cringe. It just kind of would. Mookie's a Hall of Famer, right? Trey Turner's not, right? Let's be honest. Trey Turner's a really good career, the Hall of really good, elite season sprinkled in there. Mookie Betts is going to Cooperstown with an interlocking LA logo on his plaque. Kenneth Hall, 6'1", the Dodgers will have to put rushing in any page to get a top reliever or Quan. That's not necessarily the truth. I mean, it would help for sure. I mean, I think if you're a team out there, you see rushing and, he was basically a top 30 prospect in all of baseball when he got the call. Well, yeah, I mean, sure, you start at the top, but you don't see tons of catchers making the move as always. You want to build that chemistry with pitchers. They're going to want to hold on to him if they can. But I also think, too, I mean, long term, what is the play for rushing? I mean, that's a question I would love to ask Andrew Friedman. I think I will when I get a chance. Keith Potter, 21. D-Mac, I think we can win 11 games in October with the current roster, health, and players playing up to their abilities. Keith Potter, 100% totally agree with you. If the Dodgers don't make a move, they can still win the World Series. They have that talent. I mean, you're right up there for best record in baseball still dealing with all these injuries. I don't care which starting pitcher gets traded at the deadline. Blake Snell is going to be the best pitcher joining a big league roster this week because he's absolutely elite in the second half of the season. He's going to have a lot in the tank, and I still believe in this roster, but I also think that you really can't, you can't max out their credit cards, right? Padres, you can max out those credit cards, right? The bill is coming for the Padres. They're like, holy crap, the vacation was fun. Margaritas were nice, chilling by the pool. Hey, but they're paying the bill right now. The Dodgers, unlimited funds, okay? You have no idea how much money they're making from Shohei Ohtani and the revenue and everything, an $8.25 billion TV deal. More money than God out there, okay? And scary money don't make none. The truth is they have the prospect capital to improve this roster. So just because, yes, you're right, this team can win with the roster currently constructed, ask yourself two questions. Do they have a glaring need? Yes, it's the bullpen. Two, do you have the capital from a prospect standpoint and a financial standpoint to improve the roster? The answer is yes. So guess what? Yeah, billionaires, yeah, they got the yacht, they get the mansion, they get the cars, they get the jewelry, get the watches, but then it's like, yeah, I also want a private island, right? I want the private jet too, right? So there's kind of levels to this, and they certainly have the prospect capital to improve this roster. They absolutely do, and they absolutely should. D-Mac is being zesty from Alex Renteria 3. I'm going to give you a bruh for that.
Bruh.
Should I do that? What's the Mookie? What was the Mookie when he's like,
I like this.
I like this. Joseph 562. The gamble is that in a new environment, Robert resurrects his 2023 stats and becomes an all-star level player again for a new team. Honestly, you guys know, I mean, like I've been enamored with Luis Robert Jr. because, I mean, how about this? Look at Michael Kopech, right? Kopech, he's a terrible reliever. He doesn't live to the hype. Get out of Chicago. Compete for a World Series, things change. I mean, we've seen that with guys that have gone out of Chicago, and the fact that you can get him on a buy low, I think, is very good. Rubucka, 21. There are a lot of close wild card teams contending. Yeah, and that makes the market tough. It makes it so competitive. Mets trading for Rogers screwed the reliever market. That's from Main Turtle 7364. Ray Soto 7086. I'll trade him for his 55 jersey Bueller. By the way, if anyone that's watching this has the Orel Hershiser card, please, if you're going to negotiate, please tell them that you found out about it on the show, because that'd be pretty awesome. Brianna, the asking price for any top reliever is going to be sky high, and I have a feeling the Dodgers aren't ready to trade the farm. You don't have to trade the farm. You have to trade some of the guys on the farm, not the whole thing. You're not going to gut your franchise. That's not what this is about, right? I mean, if it's ridiculous, then yeah, sure, you can walk away if it gets astronomical. Double Tree makes great cookies from Ray Soto. Keith Potter, Orel was the OG Dodger dog. I love that. That's a comment of the show contender. Orel is crazy looking for Charizard Pokemon card from Nando 3903. Orel and Fernando were my favorites growing up. Yates was great. Scott was great. Example of numbers don't matter. I mean, I think Joel, yes. I mean, you're talking about an all-star season for Yates, a sub-2 ERA for Tanner Scott. It's more of, hey, guys getting older. Once you get to a position to enter free agency, you're usually 30 or above. That's why like Duran is like, he's a young dude with miles to burn. Adrian Salazar, BP5GK199. Should the Dodgers pursue Rutschman? No. I mean, no. Why would they do that? I mean, seriously. Nando 390. D-Mac trying to sell his Bader like he sold us on Conforto, the All-Star and the Rookie of the Year. See, I hope you guys respect that about me. I will read comments that where you guys call me out on that. But the truth of the matter is I still believe in Roki. I still think that he has the potential to be a frontline starter in this league. Adjusting to the show at 22, 23, and dealing with injury. Conforto, it has been a rough year, but he has gotten it going. And if Conforto stays on this team, and like, would it be like the most baseball thing ever? Like Conforto, NLCS MVP? I mean, Conforto has been the Dodgers, one of their best hitters in the last couple of weeks. If Michael Conforto finishes the season strong, has clutch hits, finds a way to have an impact at the plate, you would much rather have that than starting the season strong. And that's why, I mean, the All-Star game, it is a mid-season 60% of the season award, right? So if he plays like an All-Star for 40% of the season, I'd take that. And he's not really putting up All-Star numbers since the break, but an 848 OPS is one of the best on the team in the month of July. That's just the truth of the matter. And the same people that dogged Andy Pages and dogged Max Muncy that wanted him off this roster, well, who knows? You could see the same thing in play for Michael Conforto if he turns things around. Malachi Farad, 2765. I'll trade you the card of the Dodgers if the Dodgers trade for Duran. So, okay, that's cruel right there. You're pretending that you have the card. Do you really have the card? I don't know. Get Quan and Duran and call it a day. Eddie 2181. You make that sound so easy. Pickle me Bush. Yoshinobu's house being almost burglarized. Terrible. Absolutely. All right. Do you got any contenders, Noel?
I like the OG. The Orel was the OG Dodger dog.
All right, cool.
That's one I like so far.
Okay, that's an early contender. Let me look. Let's see who's gonna win this jersey. Who's gonna win this jersey? It's Freddie Freeman, MV free jersey. Tyler Rogers of the Mets. We have the money for Easy. Ellie De La Cruz for Russian. They're not even picking up the phone, the Reds, for that move. Come on now. Let's have a healthy August. Let's go LA from Newfo. Steve Campbell. What is up? We've got Conforto hits walk-off grand slam at the bottom of the ninth in Game 7 of the World Series just to shut me up. Ha, 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 ha. That'd be fun to see. Schwarber or Tucker. Stephen Kwan doesn't have those issues from hitting the ball. D-Mac meant Roki of the next year. I like that. Jose Aguirre, 3815. That could be a comment of the show. Contender. We've got Mets paid way too much for a rental pitcher. You're paying above sticker, man. It is astronomical. Roki gonna slay when he gets right. Yeah, hey, stay on that side. If you're gonna say Roki Sasaki's a bust, we'll see. We'll see how he looks when he's fully healthy. They got him for a long time too. They have him for 6 years, so there's going to be a lot of developing with him for sure. D-Mac, Roki's not done. He's a kid. That's from Senior Jefe. Palau K, I've said it once. I'll say it again. I don't know why Dave Roberts doesn't value players who can steal bases, knowing that it is the one and only play that he's famous for. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of more of a philosophical thing within the organization. They just don't like giving up outs or the threat of giving up outs. Alex Raid 1381. D-Mac, I saw where we are 24th with a 4.69 ERA in the bullpen. Tell your audience where we would be if we could cut both those numbers in half, say 230 and be 12th in Major League Baseball. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point we're trying to make early on. And truth is, a lot of the guys that were responsible for that inflated ERA are guys that won't be pitching for this team in October, but there's no guarantees that the guys that they want are going to be there anyway, that the guys that they're hoping come back do return and pitch to the level that they did before the injury. All right, couple more here. Stats don't mean ish in October. Get down or lay down 84. Disagree there, but I don't know what do you mean? I mean, so it doesn't mean anything that Freddie Freeman's box score stat hitting a grand slam didn't matter in the World Series. I mean, those are still stats, right? Your postseason numbers are still the same. Rob G 484, but I do agree with you. I mean, I will say if you're trying to make the point that Kike Hernandez's regular season stats completely don't mean anything because when the postseason starts, he's a much more productive player, then I see what you mean there.
Doug, I got two contenders right here.
Okay, here we go.
Top ones.
The Rob G 4.
Right here, these two top ones.
Okay, here we go. Rob G 4841. DMAC, promise us that you'll hit the quad when we make that trade with Cleveland. Okay, that's a promise. I don't know. I'm gonna have to YouTube tutorial that one. Dodger Life. Friedman told his wife he was heading to the DoubleTree for his deadline robe. There you go. All right, we'll get that to Dodger Life. You just won a Freddie Freeman World Series MVP Dodgers jersey giveaway. We're going to do some giveaways this week as well. Go to gearup.la to get all the latest Dodgers merch. Definitely pick up the Kirsch 3000 strikeout shirt, the Yamamoto Yamamania shirt. Get a Hesung Kim Comet shirt. So much awesome stuff over there. The best Dodgers t-shirts in the game over at www.gearup.la. If you win, definitely DM us on X at Dodgers Nation. You can find us on Instagram as well. We will be back later to talk more trade rumors, and we'll do a post-game show. Keep it locked here on Dodgers Nation YouTube. Anything that happens will go live right away, but we are getting very, very close to the deadline, close to 24 hours until we know the final roster that the Dodgers will have as they pursue back-to-back titles. But that's going to do it, guys. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you really want to support this show. Hit the like button, drop a comment. Special thanks to producer Noel. Just rocked it with the comments and the production behind the show. Really appreciate that. And also, remember that we got a Discord, and that Discord is a lot of fun. If you guys like talking in this chat, you can do this all day, every day. Like AM Sanchez says, this chat stays hilarious. Much love. Yeah, I mean, that's what's fun about this show, right? I'll give it a bruh. Bruh. It's the bruh chat, right? It's awesome. You guys keep firing it down below. And you can do this on Discord. So join the Discord. It's really amazing. And just talk with Dodgers fans 24/7, 365. And also join the big lead and everything else we got going on. But guys, remember, nothing, absolutely nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.